Welcome to Sideline to Baseline with your host MB and K Lou. And guess who in the building tonight, y'all? I got my little one, Ava. Hi. Hey, we in the building, the regular, the crew. We living on borrowed time. We estimated profit. You gonna have to explain that one
I will.
And the Haven, man, I don't care what they say, you still a champ, man. You a champ all year. Champ in the SEC, and then followed that up with being a champ, with the game last night. Let's remember, everybody can't win, man. And you were a team that nobody picked to finish nowhere, nothing, no how. Like, just anything with the 49ers, everybody just turned their back on them. So I think, you got to say that was a great year.
All right.
The Final Four is still Final Four, Dave, man. That's impressive.
Oh, man.
You up 2 in the fourth quarter. You got to get that one. You got to get that done, man. You got to get that one. We'll talk about it later.
Well, let's start it off with the first game. Listen, I'm going to just keep it real with y'all. The Chiefs, Mahomes and the Chiefs choked. Yeah. That's just what it was. I mean, the play before halftime, listen, we can easily put that on Mahomes, but that's Andy Reid as well. Why even put your most explosive offensive player out there? You know that connection with, hey, he always makes a play. He always gets it done. If you're a quarterback, you're going to give Tyreek Hill a chance. I don't care who you are. Even though it's a bad throw, you'll still give a guy like that a chance. So I looked at that, and, man, I'm going to go ahead and put this out here. Now we've seen it a couple years in a row. They front runners. You watching the LA Clippers, man. You watching the LA Clippers. I mean, when everything was great, it was great. And as soon as when they smell, they got a chance to get back into this. It's like they stopped. Like, you don't score again in the whole half after walking the ball up and down the field every time you get it. Hey, man, y'all got to take it from here. Explain it to me since I'm wrong. I see a lot of heads nodding. You wrong.
Man, I'm gonna point to one loss in the offseason that I think really added to that, and that's Bashaud Breeland. Because if you have to name a corner that's going to talk some smack, that's going to get in somebody's face, who do the Chiefs got? You know what I mean? I mean, as far as somebody that's going to go across the middle, cover their best guy. He ain't the number one corner in the league, but outside of Honey Badger, what do they got? And it just seems like you can only rah-rah yourself so much before. If somebody don't make a play, it just seemed like things just kept consistently going downhill. Third down, converted. Third down, converted. They just couldn't get off the field. And if you can run the ball on Kansas City because you can run the ball, then you're fine. So I just feel like they're, like Kevin said, just built to play with the lead because they ain't gonna stop the run.
Right.
So,
I think we knew their defense was trash. We've seen that. We've seen that, all year. The question to me is what did Cincinnati? What did they figure out going in at half? Yeah. That all of a sudden you just shut down this offense that, like you said, was walking up and down the field.
Kelsey. They figured out Kelsey.
Just take him out? That was it?
That's what it looked like.
No, he still had a lot of success.
But
he had a lot of success. I think number one, Mahomes has that. I don't know what's going on with these quarterbacks, but I started looking at him like I look at a lot of college guys that are high profile, trying to make every throw. Like, it's like I heard coaches, I've heard this a few times in the NFL, when I was hanging around the offense. A lot of times the best throw is out of bounds.
Yeah.
And it's like he hangs around in the pocket and does all this stuff just to complete a pass. Throw the ball out of bounds. Mm-hmm. Throw the ball out of bounds. I mean, that got him in trouble even going down the half and took too much time off the clock a few times because he did that stuff. And I just thought, like, man, why just because you 13 or 14 right now, you don't have to keep that completion percentage. It's like they're playing for completion percentages, like all these stats that don't matter. Like, dude, we'll take 2 for 25. We'll take 2 for 25 and a win. We'll take that. Ask the Haven.
The Patriots beat the Bills with that.
Yeah, this to tell 2 halves. Like I said, I was out in LA, so I missed most of the second half. But I thought the Chiefs were going to run away with it. But it seems like the Cincinnati defense looked like they took a page out of Tampa Bay's blueprint last year in the Super Bowl, and just really got after Hendrickson got after Mahomes. And like I said, when you throw those guys off, such a timing precision offense, then you throw those guys off, off their routes and stuff like that. As you said, K-Lou, Mahomes tried to do that magic all the time, and sometimes you just got to let the play go. Because that series, that was a tough series. I did see the series down at the end of the game where they had to kick the field goal to tie, and they were on the 5-yard line, and he just kept going back and almost fumbled and got that one, and then he got sacked twice, right?
Right.
Yeah. And you just can't.
The weirdest thing to Haven was that Casey's going down to tie it up to go to overtime. They were content with just to go to overtime.
Right.
They didn't have that killer instinct to go win it right then.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, that was weird to me. I'm like, you go win this. You don't risk a flip. You don't risk anything.
Yep.
You know.
Remember, he made that one throw, running kind of like what K. Lewis said, just running out of bounds, and people were kind of like, "Oh man, like let's not lose the game here." And it just seems like right there they were like, "Let's not mess this up." It's almost like they just assumed overtime would happen. They'd get it. They'd win, just like the week before. And they got it, but they didn't win. I mean, it just – not a single throw to the end zone, I don't think. I mean, I know that is what he was scrambling so long for on the last play, but throw that away like a lot sooner.
And he almost fumbled on that one in regulation.
I believe that they sputtered so much in the second half. I know you obviously giving a lot of credit to Cincinnati, but it was crazy to me that they didn't – run the ball a whole lot more. They were having success the entire game every time they ran the ball. And yet in the second half, they started throwing on first and second down. So now you're forced to throw on third. Like, it was really strange to me.
It's like they got in blowout mode before it was a blowout.
Right.
Like they were going to start hanging 50, but they hadn't got to 30 yet.
Well, that Cincinnati touchdown at the end by Piron, that kept them in the game.
Right.
Touchdown, 50-yard touchdown that he scored. Because like I said, we were leaving the restaurant ahead of SoFi, and they scored that, so everybody sat back down.
Wow.
Yeah, it gave them life, and then they didn't take the 3 points before the end of the half.
Yeah.
Which you put points up. You got to keep the amount of possessions it takes someone to beat you. You got to keep increasing that. Period.
That was very not like Andy Reid. To not take three. He doesn't usually do that kind of Bush League stuff. You know what I mean?
Take three, he tried to take three.
No, when he called that play, I mean, there was only like 6 or 7 seconds left. Running any play was probably a bad idea. Like any play.
Mahomes he was going to throw that out of bounds. He said, I should have threw it out of bounds. Obviously, hindsight's 20/20. But he said, when I like K-Lou said, I got the cheetah out there. I'm gonna give Cheetah a shot to try to get the end zone,
right,
2-yard line. But he said, hindsight, of course, I would threw it out of bounds. But he's like, I'm gonna trust my guy. One fastest receivers in the game to get 2 or 3 yards. I'm gonna take a one-on-one matchup with that on that swing pass. It just didn't work out.
But like you said, that's Andy Reid because he put Patrick Mahomes in that position. Like, if you put killers out there, they're going to take a shot at it. Right. They should have even been there. That's all on Andy. That's all on Andy.
Right. And then in overtime, guys, it felt like they had nothing left in the tank.
Oh, they were empty. You saw it.
It felt, to me, it felt like, man, they have packed it in. It went from you choking to like, man, they better than us.
What was scary is that the Cincinnati cornerback was it Apple?
Yeah.
He could have ended the game to the house. I was like, oh my God, I hope that don't come back to haunt that guy.
Yeah.
He's got plenty to come back to haunt him. All right.
Well, he's going like 3 different teams.
He could have had a walk-off though to go to the Super Bowl.
Now, and here's the kicker, guys. obviously, I think I heard it or read it this morning, but I was talking to my wife last night when it happened, when the analysts were getting it wrong, and I'm like, no, he fumbled. Like, it is what it is. He fumbled. I didn't want him to call it because I was like, they don't deserve that. like, even though I picked Kansas City to win. I thought they would win. To win it like that would have pissed me off completely. So I was like, even though it's a fumble, I'm glad they ain't calling it. Like, they don't deserve that. Like,
thing is though, do you think is this even gonna matter? Like, can Cincinnati really do it against LA? I feel like we're robbed again. I feel like we're robbed.
I think there's an equal matchup. I think.
You talked about a young Dallas. The Cincinnati started reminding me of a young Patriots team. Yeah. What they built.
Well, I think I'm with you, Jason. I'm only with you for one reason, and that's I do not believe under any circumstances that they're gonna be able to protect Joe Burrow.
That's a problem.
That's the issue. It's not anything other than that, DeHaven. It's strictly they won't be able to keep him off the ground.
Aaron Donald, Von Miller, whoever the other guy is.
Yeah.
Ain't no way.
That's where the game's gonna be won. Like everywhere else, AA, I'm with you there, even, but not there.
I didn't think about it from that perspective. I mean, they could definitely get on him quick.
They had to run the ball. Something San Francisco didn't do yesterday. They had to run the ball.
Right.
That's Aaron Donald.
The Rams could get had against the run.
Yeah, but
when you got to pin back and they know you're throwing, they got the advantage.
Yeah, you can't let them do that.
Balance with the run.
Yeah.
But DeHaven, not everybody can run like San Francisco. You so spoiled. He's so spoiled with the best runner team. Run it. Everybody else like, oh, why didn't we think of that? Oh, okay, yeah. Not everybody's got again. Like what?
So let's talk about Kansas City before we go to DeHaven and his crew. Let's talk about what do you foresee next year, the year after. I think their dynasty has played itself out. I think they packed it in and put all the money on offense and keep getting to this position where if you can't even do anything on defense, like you can't make a play on defense, then you're always playing from the front, which entails us calling them front runners. Like you always have to play like that and put pressure on not only the other team's defense, but on their offense as well. And then when your offense finally sputters, as they seem to do at times, then it's a L. So until you change that, and I don't think they're built to change that. And it's funny because if you think of Andy Reid in Philly, guess what you think about? Defense. Like they were always dominant on the defensive side of the ball. And it's interesting, and obviously Donovan McNabb made plays on offense, but you weren't going out there until the year they had Terrell Owens where you were concerned about anybody catching balls on you or anybody really going bonkers on you in the run game. It was defensively, they were stingy. And then Donovan McNabb started making those plays. Then Brian Westbrook, and I can't think of the back before him, Deuce Staley, I think it was. Yeah. So and Deuce Staley making plays for you. But it wasn't like you're going out there like, man, they gonna run up the score on us. No, they 21 will get them a win. 24 get them a win. Sometimes 16. That's when the NFC East was known for, hey, you come play us. Don't worry about running that score up because it's gonna be close and tight. So it's interesting that we're not getting anything year after year after year from their defense.
And they got off to a slow start this year, but you said, don't worry, they're coming.
Yeah.
And they came on, but,
I think they'll always be in the mix, obviously, because you got Mahomes. But I think like Buffalo's coming. It's not going to be as easy as it was. They had a shot to probably get the 4 in a row.
Right.
It's not going to be as easy with the Herberts coming. Who knows if Aaron Rodgers goes to Denver? Obviously, Josh Allen. I think he's going to be He already ready for Kansas City right now. He want them boys again. So I just think that, I think they'll always be in the mix, but the dominance that we saw the last couple of years, I don't know if we'll get that again. It's not going to be as easy for them.
Well, all their offensive pieces are still locked in. Like nobody's leaving for next year.
That's not the problem.
That's what I'm saying. So, really they can afford to focus on defense 2 off seasons in a row and still be fine. So it's not like it's not addressable. You know what I mean? I mean, they can go get a corner and a linebacker or a corner and a linebacker.
I mean, what's their money situation looking like? I mean, like the money is on the offense. Remember they gave Orlando Brown all that money, Joe Tooney all that money after that Super Bowl. They shored up the offensive line. They got a lot of money tied up in that. Chris Jones doesn't have has a huge contract. Matthew has a huge contract. So it's not easy just to rebuild a defense if you have all of that money allocated to the offense. It's not going to be
right.
And it doesn't look like the enemy's going anywhere. He don't look like he wants a job. It looks like he just wants to be with Mahomes.
Right now they got $15 million, but the cap's going to go up, so that'll be like 20. So they can go get one guy.
There it is.
And he can't be super expensive.
One guy can't plug a flood.
We don't even hear their name when it's the big time guys on defense available. Trade a couple of those offensive pieces to get it done, because that's where you're missing it. You could probably stand to make it up on offense, but you're not making that ground up on defense. I mean, it's a travesty to sit there and watch them play so well at times, and you're gonna sputter when you're on offense. You're gonna have those like basketball. You're gonna have them off nights. But golly, like
Mecole Hardman will get you. Mecole Hardman would get a corner, right? I mean, I'm serious, right? You could trade him. I mean, Samuel's kind of on a little bit.
Right.
You ain't gonna get rid of Kelsey, so sorry, Mecole.
Yeah, right. They're always drafting 29th or 30th in the first round.
Right.
All the prime talent.
Hey, I'm taking a shot every year though on defense.
Do they even have a pick in the first round this year?
Huh? They'll be number 30.
No, but I'm saying, didn't they give away their first round for something?
What did they trade for Brown for the offensive lineman?
They might have traded it. Was that last year? I thought they traded last year's pick for Brown.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it sounds good to put up all those points game after game until somebody hits you in the mouth. All of a sudden, the points hard to come by. So moving right along, we had those San Francisco 49ers, and like I said, Dave, I mean, you guys were nowhere in the picture when we were talking, and you gave up on them 3 or 4 times, I think. I think Jason said you unfollowed Jimmy G 7 times. 7 times. That has to be a record
for the rest of my life.
That had to be a record.
He's unfollowed for the rest of my life.
and so at first, DeHaven, let you take it away. Give us your synopsis of the ball game, what you think happened, what the Rams were able to do, and what you guys didn't do to counter.
Yeah, I never felt good about I'm in the house. I never felt good about the game. I just never felt good the whole game. It's because I think the Rams, they were able to move the ball on third down. It's like they were converting every single third down. Just throw the cup. I mean, OBJ had 100 yards. It's like every third down they were converting. So I didn't see the front four getting to Stafford like we did at the end of the season, that second half, and on that Monday night. The front four wasn't getting there. And, I mean, like I said, every third down, it seems like, Kupp was always open. And we caught an interception down on the goal line, which changed the game for us. Debo came back and scored, and we actually had the lead going into halftime. And then we went up by 10, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, the Rams figured something out, like Jimmy's going to get jittery, and it just reminded me of the fourth quarter in the Super Bowl against Kansas City. We needed more points, and we couldn't get more points because in the fourth quarter, I think the Rams scored on the first play of the fourth quarter, and Tart had dropped that interception. Even though there was a lot of time left in the game, he dropped that interception that gave the momentum back to them. Next play to OBJ, the The fourth quarter opens up at 17-14. We're in a dogfight. And, I don't think we had a game where Jimmy could throw 30 times. You don't want Jimmy to throw 30 times.
No.
And yesterday he threw 30 times, and you just can't put it on his shoulders like that. We have to be able to run the ball. There's a couple calls. I won't be long-winded, but it's been building up on the plane ride. There's a couple calls that Shanahan had, like the 3rd and 2. He runs it up the middle with use check. And I'm just like, God, if that's just an athletic quarterback, you bootleg that, you roll the pocket. It's just, the defense got to Jimmy, and he couldn't make anything happen in the fourth quarter. We needed 24 points. We got 17.
Wow.
And Debo didn't get the ball enough. Debo did not get the ball enough in that game.
He's a beast.
He did not get the ball enough. 12 minutes, he didn't get any touches. So it's just like, I don't know. It's like they wanted Jimmy to be a hero or something like that. That's not him. Just,
I mean, you should get there. A couple of years ago, that's a play Juszczyk gets. You know what I mean? Those 3 yards in a cloud of dust year before last, it was automatic every time.
Right up the middle. I think.
Yeah, but those quarterbacks on third downs keeping the chains going. That's what Burrow did in the second half.
Yeah, Burrow used his legs.
He looked like Elway back in the day. So you do whatever it takes. It's playoff time, man. You sell out.
Used his legs yesterday for a couple big third downs.
I'm just saying, like Juszczyk, though. I mean, he did 2 years ago. He gets that. He gets 3.
And I almost probably would have went for it on fourth down instead of punting it because I might have gone for it. But 3-0 in the last fourth quarters of playoff games and stuff for Kyle Shanahan, he hasn't been able to going back to the Super Bowl, going back to the Atlanta game. You know what I mean? And against the Patriots when he was a coordinator. Something about him not being aggressive in fourth quarters.
So I'll explain why my name is Estimated Profit tonight. So after Kittle scored and you guys went up 10, the Fox TV guys, they always like to play music going into commercials and stuff like that. They're always sending messages. That's a Grateful Dead song. It is a San Fran team, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was your curse. Right after that, it was all over.
Yeah.
So
Jimmy Garoppolo's a curse, but
listen, you're up 10 with 10, even more time than that.
But Double, you got to put more points on.
You do, no doubt.
I mean, I know the Rams got an awesome rush. That's what they paid those stars for. But I mean, if you could just lose your legs to get one first down,
I agree.
Heck out the way. Don't clam up. All right, y'all.
They shut it down after Kittle. It was after that they I think they thought they were going. They stopped playing.
Well, DeHaven then. So I'm with Jason. Jason, I mean, made a message I think earlier today talking about, or is it, is Jimmy G gone? Is it Trey Lance's turn? You've been hard on him all year, but it doesn't seem to me that they've had a whole lot of faith in Trey either. So then, are you looking to free agency as well and trying to attract that Aaron Rodgers to San Francisco?
I mean, I wouldn't mind. I think they stuck to their guns of not wanting to rush Trey Lance early. I think had he not gotten hurt after the Arizona game, I think Trey Lance would have stayed in and played. He got hurt after his first start.
Right.
And then Jimmy came in and he had a bad game in the snowstorm. But I think we need to roll with Trey, number one, because he's on a rookie contract. I wouldn't mind, a veteran like an Aaron Rodgers and letting Trey learn from him. That's probably not going to happen. But we've got 25. Once we get rid of Jim, we got $25 million to spend. I think you give Trey Lance another weapon. I think he can. I'm not saying we get to the NFC Championship with him, but I think I'd rather got him experience this year because. But next year, I think Trey Lance is going to be ready to go. He's got a year under his belt. He's mobile. He's got a good arm. Shanahan could sit in his lab and draw up plays for him all summer or whatever. So I think we'll be ready to roll with Trey next year. And if he's anything like I think he could be, the league better watch out because we're coming. And this time we're going to be limited. We made it to the NFC Championship with the worst quarterback in the playoffs.
You were a quarter away. That was it.
If Trey Lance can do anything, I think the league better watch out.
But
that's all I'll say about that.
Year before last, G wasn't the worst quarterback in the playoffs.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Ryan Tannehill definitely has got to be the worst quarterback in this year's playoffs. But
Jimmy G, how was he worst player back in the playoffs when he won a game throwing 8 passes? They beat Green Bay throwing 8 passes. Against Minnesota, he threw 14 passes. And then when they tried to rely on him again in the Super Bowl in the fourth quarter, what happened? He couldn't. The same thing that happened Sunday. You start getting pressure on him. He got jittery. He was 2 for 9 against the blitz yesterday, -3 yards.
But he ain't got to be Peyton Manning to be a good quarterback. Play within his, when he plays within himself, complimentary football.
Yeah, I guess when he's diving on the ground, just throwing it up, that's playing within himself. That's playing within himself.
He was playing with himself.
Yeah, he was 19 last week. The first week against Dallas, the defense really won that game. We were limited by quarterback play.
Like I said,
in that Dallas game. Now, come on now. Hey, hold up. In that Dallas game, that throw to Debo, that didn't take some courage. That throw right across the middle that got that go-ahead score.
He all right across the middle. That's about it. He all right across the middle. That's all he can. He can't stretch the field. He cannot. You can't have a quarterback in the league that can't stretch the field. He's a glory. He's an Alex Smith, which he was. We didn't get to the Super Bowl with Alex Smith. He's Alex Smith.
You guys will get back together.
We get off the 49ers now, though. We can get off this. It's done with.
I think it was you saw it in both games. Kansas City, they breathe. They relax. They're like, oh, we're up 21-3, man. We just got to cruise, And I think that the Niners got up 2 scores and they relaxed. And once you relax and that other team plays with that they understand it's all on the line. It's do or die. They get life. And once they got that momentum, it was done.
Yeah, that's giveaway versus takeaway, though, man. Those other guys getting paid too. It ain't necessarily always so much that they gave the game away. Those other guys took it. Like those other guys,
they got hungry.
But I don't think that the other guys are bad. Like I don't think Jimmy G's bad. I don't think he's
bad. He bad, Jason. He's bad.
It's just counseling.
Bad.
Come on.
Yeah. Turn out the light.
He's got jet lag. Be careful with the
Go ahead, take him to Carolina. We took him to Carolina for you, Jason. Y'all can have Jimmy G.
Yes, send him to Carolina.
Y'all can have Jimmy work. Only can work the middle. Jimmy G. Y'all can. Hey, Tom Brady's out of the division. He might be the best quarterback in that division next year.
Hold on, man. There y'all go again with Brady retired. Like, have we gotten word for real yet?
I think he's going to announce it on his podcast tonight.
Yeah, he's doing something tonight. Yeah.
If Giselle asked you to retire, you'd retire. I ain't even playing. I'd retire. I'm like, yes, ma'am. All right. Yeah, all right. I'm back.
I bet you got a question there, Caleb. Who you going with to win, I guess, the Super Bowl?
Well, I already gave my, I'm going with the Rams. I just think defensively, I think, their strength is D-line, putting pressure on the quarterback. Cincinnati's weakness is protection. So I think it's one of those things. And I don't care who you is. We've seen, the toughest ones, Brady, Peyton Manning, obviously old school, Joe Montana and the likes melt when big old jokers start putting them on the ground. Yeah. It's a different story. It's not as easy to be pretty.
Can that Bengal team get home on Stafford or?
I think they can by blitzing like they did with Mahomes, but I think the Rams are going to get the ball out. I think they're going to get it out. I think they're going to run the ball because they saw Kansas City have so much success with running the ball, and I think they're going to do something that Kansas City really didn't do a lot of, and that's throw the freaking ball down the field. I don't care if they're back there. You got to take shots, and you don't just take shots when they know you have to take shots. And they had a receiving core to do it.
And
Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl MVP. You watch.
And they're playing at home. I know tickets might be sold to everybody, but they're still at home.
You going back to Haven?
Yeah.
I hate the Rams. I'm going back. I hate the Rams.
Was it 50-50 with the fans?
Yeah, the Niners, we represented, man. The faithful, we really showed out. But it wasn't like the last game of the season. It was about 50-50.
Right.
They showed up. The Rams, fair weather, Hollywood folks showed up or whatever,
Was Eric Dickerson in the building?
Yeah, Eric Dickerson was there.
With the goggles.
There's a lot of celebrities there, but I hate the Rams. Yo. They don't got no. They got about 2 years left, 1 year left. They don't got no draft picks in the next couple of years. So I don't know how they're gonna play all these players. They sold out to get one. They did what they had to do. Okay, it's a marathon. It's not a sprint.
What's the Rams general manager again?
Let's need.
Let's need F them picks. Let's need. Isn't that his motto? 10 first rounders for Matthew Stafford.
Now the only thing is people might take less to play in LA though. I know OBJ, he'll probably stay. You know, I mean, he had a little resurrection.
Right.
He'll take less to play in that market or whatever.
He just won't get paid in crypto again.
Yeah, he won't get.
God, he got hammered. That's got to be one of the all-time work. Like, what is he netting? 15, 20 grand is what it is? That's all he's netting?
35,000.
What?
For the year. After taxes, he netted $35,000.
Because it's crypto. Yeah.
He took it all in crypto?
Yeah.
Him and the mayor of New York.
He took it.
All ones?
Look, 700.
I didn't know that. Not all.
Between the tax consequence, the loss, and what it fell to, it amounted to $35,000 net take home pay
on the year.
And I'll be Russell Okung. Remember when he did it, he made money.
Hey, look, he all in though, now, Jason. Like hey, you can't never take that out. You just gotta leave that.
Stafford's picking up the bill every time they go out.
Oh yeah.
He ain't. Wow. But see, one thing I don't understand.
He needs to definitely stay in LA now from a marketing and promotion standpoint. Maybe get a couple movie deals. So yeah, don't go nowhere.
He'll be getting his commercials.
I just don't see how you need to be in that market with today's media. You know what I mean? Like a star, Patrick Mahomes is in Kansas City. He's in Kansas.
Nah.
So,
hey, LeBron wouldn't have made the move, Jason.
I know.
He wouldn't have made the move. He's the biggest star in the world. In America, when it comes to athletics, and he made the move, so it made sense for some reason. And hey, you look at too many. Hey, start looking at the credits at the end of movies, boy. He's dipping his hand in everything, so it's working.
He's global between what he's got going on in China and he's got the soccer in Europe. He's got his hand in everything.
Does that put him like Giannis could have made a move? He stayed and won a championship.
But he still might go. Giannis, he might after this year.
Still might. Well, he got 5 years. I think he 5 year, $228 million. But that was shocking that he stayed in Milwaukee like that. But they won a championship.
A little bit different. A guy from not from here.
Yeah, English is second language. Yeah,
so, it's different. It's different. No, if you trace those stars, they tend to stay.
Yeah, like Nowitzki. The house is a big market anyway.
That's when we knew they really blew it in New York when the unicorn left Porzingis. Like y'all really blowing.
But did they had what was the article came out about James Harden the other day? He hate playing in New York. He said he missed the South. He missed Houston. He's not the central magnet in New York. He said
they're talking about him going to Atlanta next year.
Oh, he
wants to play with Trey.
Hey, James Harden came to Atlanta. He would not know how to act,
and it wouldn't work though. Like both him and Trey are they're ball dominant.
That's what I thought. That's why I didn't when I read it.
They both do the same thing. Like that's dumb. Like why would you get another superstar?
I could see James maybe trying to give it a shot with the Sixers.
You see how well that worked for the Clippers. You got two superstars that do the same exact thing. How does that work?
And they're both on the bench.
Okay, Lou, if Kawhi doesn't get hurt, they might win that. If he don't get hurt, Kawhi got hurt.
Kawhi didn't get hurt.
He got hurt last year, and they went to the final. They played the Suns without Kawhi. It was just Paul George. Remember?
Paul George woke up.
They went to the
After
Western
that.
Conference Finals with just Paul George. If Kawhi's there,
Yeah, okay.
Would have, could have, should have.
Yeah.
I mean, he got hurt.
Yeah.
Is Trae Young the shooter Harden is though?
Oh yeah,
He better. Yeah, he better shoot.
he can bomb.
He's a better shooter than James Harden.
He can shoot when he
I
can
don't
shoot
know
from
about that.
rolling out of bed.
Yeah, he like
I
baby
don't know
Steph
about
Curry.
that one.
3-point shooter? Better than James Harden?
I don't know
I mean,
about that.
I mean, I know he's more aggressive defensively, but I don't.
No, Trey don't play no defense either.
No, he don't play no defense.
Shoot,
That's what I'm saying. They're the same player, Jason. They're magicians with the ball in their hands. They both can shoot the Trey ball. They both are playmakers, and they both don't play no defense. So, I mean, like, why would you want a double dose of that?
Trey's the one that kind of like he kind of like pisses off whoever he's defending, like that other guy did.
No, they happy that Trey on them.
Yeah,
He's that
just
guy.
a real good shoot. He's just a real good shooter. I mean, he's a good point guard too, but he's like a scorer. He's like a baby Steph. Think of an imitation Steph Curry.
Because he's streaky.
Yeah,
He's not always on.
but he can get to the bucket though.
Correct.
He can get to the bucket.
Right.
It just seems like all of his Sports Center highlights are him kind of like being like a gnat all around somebody and getting on their nerves. Like,
I think you're thinking of the wrong guy.
the guy that
Atlanta?
the light skinned guy.
Atlanta guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know about that. The clips I see with him is shooting the ball, throwing alleys, teardroppers, making people look silly with his ball handling skills. That's the clips I see. But I've never seen a steal clip. I don't see him locking nobody down clip.
Hey, where'd you hear that rumor about Harden coming to Atlanta?
I don't know where I read it. I don't know if it was a Bleacher Report or somewhere like one of those.
I heard Philly, and they might let Ben Simmons go.
Philly makes more sense. I mean, that's
yeah.
you know, that's a natural fit right there.
Cold weather. That's what the article came. Like, he hate the cold weather. And
Well, then he don't need to go there either.
I think I seen that time he got into it with Kevin Durant. That must be what I was thinking about. Remember him and Kevin Durant like almost getting in a fight on the court when he was on Kevin?
I mean, that could have happened.
Yeah, they got into it in the playoffs last year.
Yeah, that definitely could have happened.
No, they didn't play. Atlanta didn't play Brooklyn in the playoffs.
No,
Atlanta played New York. Remember Trey was talking all that junk in Madison Square Garden?
Yeah, but they beat New York. Then they played Brooklyn after.
No,
Milwaukee
got beat by Milwaukee.
Right.
Atlanta played the Sixers, and Ben Simmons kind of choked.
That's where Ben Simmons' career ended.
He don't even want to play double. Ain't that crazy?
Crazy, man. I don't even understand that. I don't get that one at all.
Yeah, they can't even give him away. Nobody will even take him.
Why would you? He's got a mental block. He can't go. Literally, he can't shoot. Great, you're tall. You can rebound. You can defend.
There's a place in the game for a player like that, though.
There is, but not when you're that so-called valued and
Yeah, that's true. You get $165 million.
Right. So
Does NBA have a salary cap?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Soft cap,
A pretend one.
Yeah, you can exceed it.
I don't know. They pay some serious tax on those guys.
But we don't. In LA, we don't care. We ignore all salary caps, buddy.
We're in LA.
That means nothing to us.
It better mean something soon, because them jokers. Ooh,
they're joking this year.
Well, let's face it, guys. All we got to be is in that number 10.
So what's that? How's that? You can go over in the NBA. You just pay a tax for going over.
Correct.
You pay a tax, and you can go over to re-sign your homegrown free agents or whatever. It's called bird rights.
Right.
So if a state they try to keep players in the small market, in their market, so they can pay them more.
So a loophole to a loophole.
To give you an example, the Miami Heat, which is owned by the Carnival Cruise Lines guy, they haven't had cruises running in 2 years. They're under the cap this year.
Do they have a minimum spending mandate like the NFL does?
I think there is a floor. Yeah.
Okay.
That's true. I see it.
If you don't spend it, they take it or something, right? What is
That was what was crazy about baseball is you had those small market teams spend nothing, but since they all shared in the TV money, they made all the profit. Their margins were bigger than everyone else's, except the Yankees, who had their own, merchandising thing.
Well,
My conversation.
Oakland
Harden is
A's.
staying. I don't think Harden is staying with Kyrie. I think that Kyrie situation getting to him.
Yeah.
That's kind of. He's like, I'm wasting years of my career. He's 32, 33.
well, what do you mean the Kyrie situation? Give a little bit more details, Dave.
Oh, just him being a part-time player, right? I mean, Kevin Durant's injured for the next 4 to 6 weeks. It put James Harden was the only guy in Houston. He could have stayed in Houston to be the, but with Kyrie being a part-time player, I think it put so much load on Harden, and I think Harden's getting to the point where Kyrie has a ring, Kevin Durant has two. He's like, I want a ring, and if we have a part-time player that we're going to need in the playoffs to play a 7-game series, then I think that situation's starting to wear on him.
But at the same time, he can get involved in that anywhere he goes. I mean, remember when he got to Houston, they brought Dwight, there. They thought, that would work. Like it's no guarantees wherever he goes, especially you go to Joel Embiid. He's a big who's had injury issues in the past as well. Like,
but
you just never know.
You never know, Caleb, but Kyrie's not injured. He just won't get vaccinated, right? There's
but I don't think it matters. I think you look at it as the same. Like, you look at it as the same. He's injured. He won't play for whatever reason.
All right.
So but when you signed up there, you thought the whole crew would be there. You know what I'm saying? Just right.
But what if the crew, to their own volition, is like, I voluntarily won't be here for home games, 41 games out the year.
Well, he didn't say that. That's what the state of New York said.
They're like that TV show, 2.5 Men.
He said he would play every game, and he does. But the state of New York said he.
Okay, so you don't think Harden and KD asked him to get vaccinated?
I think they be out of line and out of bounds.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, I like Kyrie. Kyrie Irving's one of my favorite players. Like, he's box office, but it has put the Nets in a bind. I'm not going to get.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of put them in a bind.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's like you said, the roster is built out of those three, and Blake Griffin.
Yeah. What did he say? The team will start paying fines for Kyrie to play full time. Yeah, of course they would. Then he wouldn't have to pay him either. Do you think Jim Harbaugh would be a good fit as the Miami Dolphins head coach?
For the owner, he would be. The Michigan boys love each other.
Can he develop? I mean, he's developed quarterbacks before. I mean, he developed Kaepernick, and Alex Smith played better with him.
I think the experiment of him being a great college coach is over. I think he's crazy if this opportunity is real and he doesn't take it. I think he's just proven he's a better NFL guy. It's tougher to go into these kids are front runners, man. Let's just call it what it is. They going to the next best greatest. I mean, you look at Clemson, how in the world, and I know it's still early, Jason, but how do you have 10 consecutive years, top 8 at least, and now you're, 15, 18, 20. Where are you guys now, recruiting wise?
Oh, we're not that far out. We didn't come back.
When I looked about a month ago, you guys were out of the between 10 and 15, which is very far from being when you guys were competing for top 3.
5, right?
Yeah, it was worse. It was better than top 5. Like, they were early on would be jumping ahead of Alabama at 1. Then 2 days later, a kid will decommit or something. They go to 2, but they were top 3 probably the last 7 years.
It's a good show topic next week because Wednesday's signing day.
But what I'm saying is these kids are front runners. Like, bottom line, or a program like Clemson doesn't make a drop like that. That's as significant as that.
Still got the number one
without head coaching change.
Right. So if you're Harbaugh, do you take Minnesota or do you take the Dolphins? Because he obviously passed on the Raiders.
I think Miami has proven, guys, let's just face it, to be a tougher job for everybody. So I would go to Minnesota just because. when I'm picking teams, if I'm a head coach, I'm looking at the organization. I'm looking at the organization's history because those are the people that stay. Like the decision makers are the people that have been around for those 20 years. So I'm picking it based on them, not this other stuff,
But
these players.
You think
Plus,
Steve Ross will give more power to Jim Harbaugh, though? I know Chris Greer has won the front office battle with getting Flores out of there. But if Ross did bring Harbaugh in, don't you think he'd give him a little bit more power? Or
that might be the negotiation right now.
Think about it. Just the comment you just made. I know he got Flores out of there. Like I've heard nobody around the NFL say that was a great move. You see what I'm saying? So it's the organization that I would be actually interviewing as a head coach, not hey man, they got a great roster. Like I'm dealing with somebody that's really gonna ride with me. And unless I just lay an egg, then I deserve to be out. But I need you to be with me, through some bumps in the road because we're going to have those early on. And I don't think Miami is an organization that I trust if I'm a head coach, especially of Harbaugh stature. But we've seen Minnesota stay by a guy for way too long a few times. So I'm going that route. If that's
Minnesota's new GM used to work with Harbaugh at the 49ers, I think, too.
He's got to like the offensive weapons in Minnesota, maybe not the quarterback. I think he loses either way with the quarterback. Miami's got the defense.
Yeah, Minnesota's defense is aging, though.
Right.
But going to your point, front runners, I mean, God, of all the years to leave, wouldn't this be the worst one after you've had your most success?
Oh, no.
Biggest opportunity to capitalize?
Jason, because ain't nothing behind it, baby. I'm out of there.
He don't.
I told y'all I could be Ohio State.
Do it again.
And you saw that guy Ohio State in the Rose Bowl. You don't want to go back there.
I'm flying right out of there. I told y'all Ohio State wasn't nothing.
I'd have done it again. I would have.
Could you please place your trade? What is it?
In the upright position.
As I'm getting up out of there, I'm talking trash to Ohio State.
They're talking. Flores is now looking at the Houston job.
He could probably get a lot of control there. I mean, it's
trying to keep Deshaun.
No, Deshaun might go to y'all. Y'all going for Deshaun in the spring.
I know, but if they're trying to keep, I'm saying if they're trying to keep Deshaun.
That's right. He wanted to play for Brian Flores when he was at Miami. I think that's irreparable. But I think that's a good job for Brian Flores, even though, they actually did better with that coach last year. They did better than a lot of people thought. People thought they were going to win a game, 1 or 2 games. They overachieved. But that he could probably get a lot of good control there, set a good culture there. Spend some time there.
They were competitive in a lot of games they lost, too.
Huh? What'd you say?
They were competitive in a lot of games.
Yeah, they were, especially early on, and then late in the season they came on as well. They still haven't filled the Jacksonville job. I mean, the Giants seem to be pretty happy, huh, Kalu?
Yeah, we struggle, City. I think we made another terrible.
Brian Daboll?
What's wrong with him?
Listen,
hey, Luke will say he ain't gonna have Josh Allen. Daniel Jones is not Josh Allen.
That was my next question. I go, they keep trying to sell. He's gonna be able to do the same thing. I'm like,
Hey, we could have went after Harbaugh, but he would have been fighting with the Mariners too much. They don't like that back talking stuff. But we need a jerk in the locker room right now, man. That's what we need. And I'm hearing that he's a great guy. That's all you hear. He's such a great guy. And everybody knew he would have this opportunity and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, you need a Coughlin type with a group like this that's kind of going every which way direction. We don't know who the quarterback is. We don't know who the leaders in the locker room are. Saquon Barkley is, I want to be a Giant for life. That don't sound good when you start talking like that and you ain't 30 yet. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like this is, we need a jerk in the locker room, man. We really do. To to pull everything together and then get him out of there before he blows it for everybody. You know what I'm saying? Like get him there for 2 years and then get somebody else in there that really can take the ship and go with it.
I thought Brian Flores might have been good for the Giants.
Mm.
I thought that would have been a good.
I think that's who K-Lou wanted.
Yeah, but man, we just got to start. We got too many holes right now, and our bread and butter. No matter who we've had at quarterback, guys, and I know it's easy to throw, stones at Danny Jones, but we've been great when we've been great on defense. That's just what. And I thought about that watching Spag on the sideline, last night, thinking about, like
bring him
man,
back.
Like we've been great, in New York. And you look at the history of the darn team. We've been great when we've been great on defense. Bottom line. So like that's where all the attention needs to be spent. That's what kind of head coach needs to come in there. That's the attitude that we need in that organization to put us back on top.
Yep.
The only team that plays defense in that division right now is Washington. If you think about it, they're the only ones that defense. Don't work, but they play it. Right.
What do y'all think about Josh McDaniels finally leaving the Patriots?
I think that Oakland job is a good job.
You mean Vegas?
Yeah.
Vegas.
Yeah. There I go. Yeah.
Double A.
Yeah.
San Diego.
Yeah.
I'm still the St. Louis Cardinals, man.
You think the Patriots take a step back without Josh McDaniels, or
no? Because it's a system. I mean, all he's doing is putting his spin in the play call. You know what I mean? Yeah, they'll miss his play call flavor, but I mean, I think the quarterback there is so young that big deal. You know what I'm saying? Like he can develop a relationship with somebody else, and knowing, let's think about it. Knowing who Belichick is, he's had somebody there
already in place,
the entire time.
And he tried. He had his first. He went out of the house once to Denver, right? And
on
his base. So this is his. Let's see if he learned from his mistakes.
Well,
I guess
that was Tebow's fault. He missed
well.
his flag into Tebow because he had control too.
Did New England ever win a ring without Josh McDaniels though?
Their first three were Charlie Weiss was the offensive coordinator.
Old
Right,
Charlie
but
Weiss.
I'm talking about after.
Oh, I don't think so. After he went to St. Louis for a year, Denver for a couple years in St. Louis, and then I think they hadn't won one. I mean, they won the last four with him.
Yep.
So in a year from now, where's Sean Payton going? If we think he's sitting at, is it that simple? He waits 1 year.
Yeah, that's done. Dallas.
But why not do it now? Why wait a year?
To make it not look so bad.
So Derek hating on my hardball pick. He don't want to know where around him. But again, Derek, you talking about college. I never thought he was a good college coach. I think he did a great job for Michigan, and Michigan is better now than when he came.
He was good at Stanford. He was good at Stanford when he had Andrew Luck. Remember, he was at Stanford. He did real good at Stanford.
Yeah, he took a program that without any expectations. I mean, the guy he left it to has done a far better job than he has because
you think Sean done a better job?
Oh yeah, because he took a team without expectations and beat UCLA, beat USC once. You know what I'm saying? Like he didn't really do anything special with them, but bring them out of the toilet. It's like what David Cutcliffe did for us at Duke. I mean, he did a team without any expectations.
Big fish, small pond. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, and then he may have messed the whole Pac-12 because they've never been the same. That's the third conference since he left. So I don't know. I don't even know how to take that now.
Just put it this way: Utah was in the Rose Bowl.
Back. How about that? I want USC to be back. The Pac-12 has been so irrelevant ever since.
You know, I'm gonna throw a little wild card in for Sean Payton, man. I mean, just hear me out. Jacksonville. You think Mr. Khan, if he don't start getting something out of Trevor Lawrence, ain't gonna start shooting for the moon after year 2?
I think
you talking about? You think Khan's trying to offer Sean Payton?
He might be. They haven't brought on Leftwich.
Yeah,
Leftwich doesn't like Trent Baalke, their GM. There's a power couple already. Trent Baalke used to be the GM of the 49ers. Leftwich doesn't like Baalke. Adrian Wilson from the Cardinals to be the GM.
So,
but if Leftwich don't work out after 1 year, I'm telling you, I don't think Khan's gonna wait. I think it just seems like he's like 1 year better work, someone else.
See, I like Bieniemy and or Leftwich to be trying to fight and scratch for that Saints job. That's just
they got so much money. They got $71 million over the cap. Who's their quarterback?
Listen, I know y'all gonna hate this, man. I think Jameson did enough. Jameis did enough. I think he did enough. I think they just hit bad luck, and that was a horrible deal Sean Payton gave to the other guy.
Taysom Hill?
Yeah, to be a specialist. Like, I don't – but that's Sean Payton's style, man. He always loves players that are game-changing. You know what I mean? Can do more than just what they what their position says they can do. He's always loved that. Like, I remember even in New York, he was behind them drafting a guy that, man, didn't work out at all. But the guy on paper could do a whole lot. And, wrote plays in the playbook for him and everything. And he cost him his job in New York, that player. So yeah, he loves it. And he hit jackpot when the running back there with that kind of style. Yeah. And then with Taysom Hill having him as well. Yeah, it's just crazy.
I don't know if that Saints job is going to be attractive pretty soon. Their defense wasn't bad. I'll just give the job to Dennis Allen, their defense coordinator.
Wow.
So who winds up in New Orleans? Who walks in to want that mess, or would you rather have that Jacksonville job at this point?
I think if you're a defensive coach, you don't want the Saints job because they're not built like that. Right. Meaning like the attitude and mentality. It's like a defensive coach getting the Kansas City Chiefs job. Right. Like, he's pulling his hair out every night.
Gotta clean up a mess.
They're winning games 54-50, and he's crying like they lost. Like, it's just I thought that's what I mean by that, Dave.
Not that bad.
New Orleans, I mean, they play some defense.
Yeah, they play good.
No, I'm not saying they're like that, but I'm just
their mentality.
They're built to put up points. And defense, like it's weird, like watching your team, the 49ers, you can't pay me to believe that Shanahan's not a defensive coach. We all know he's not, but that's how he plays. Like, that's how your team is structured. That's what it looks like. Which is why I think you have so many issues.
Well, I mean, it comes from his dad, the Shanahan coaching tree, Terrell Davis. I mean, he just runs the ball. That's why they can play defense the way they do.
We got a lot of talent on defense, and we got a limited quarterback. So,
would you say the New Orleans has equivalent talent on defense?
It's not their front four is not far off. Cam Hayward.
Yeah, but it's not the same as yours.
Oh, it's not the same as ours. It's not.
And that's what I'm saying. Like,
they might be better on the back end, though.
Yeah,
they might be better on the back end with Lattimore. They got some PJ Williams. They got some people on the back end. Their back end is better than ours.
Yeah, just
Lattimore got paid yet?
Huh?
Lattimore got paid yet? That might be
Lattimore got paid.
Okay.
Lattimore got paid. Marshawn Lattimore got paid.
Well,
New Orleans, Texas.
Well, guys, we definitely appreciate everybody pulling up, hollering at us, rolling through. Man, we had a great night. Super Bowl picks are out, at least mine out. Who's yours, Double A?
Brain says the Rams, the heart going with the Bengals.
All right, Jason.
Oh, it's the Rams. But right quick, ain't nobody going to New Orleans. Can I just right quick read off their unrestricted free agents? It's only everybody. Taron Armstead, Marcus Williams, Jameis Winston, P.J. Williams, Quan Alexander, Ty Montgomery, Trevor Siemian, Traquan Smith, Albert Huggins, Ken Crawl. I mean, everybody that mattered. Their whole team, Kenny Stills. It's over.
$1 million over the cap.
It's over.
Yeah,
he left with the house on fire.
Sean Payton says, "I'm taking a year off."
Yeah, that's what he just said. I ain't cleaning up this mess.
I hate the Rams right now, so I'm going with the Cincinnati Bengals. I hate the Rams.
There it is. We appreciate each and every one of y'all coming through, man. And from sideline to baseline with MB and K. Lou, we are gone.
Peace.